Hi, welcome to English 102 Research and Writing. I'm here to talk about our theme, sports and the meaning of life. I'm your instructor, Travis Timmons. I'm out here in my back porch on a somewhat humid day. Sorry for the light. This is the best light I could find here at home with the camera. So you might be wondering, why sports for our class? And that's a great question. There are a lot of things we could be researching and writing about. First of all, I'm a big fan of having a theme for English 102, something that we can continually be writing about for an entire semester. And I pick sports for a number of reasons. Let me get into those reasons. First, sports is something that's very popular, very common. A lot of people have experience with, whether you've played sports or watched sports. So a very common subject matter. One of the last subjects that we kind of experience collectively and communally within our culture as well, beyond maybe movies and parts of pop culture. So sports touches and reaches a lot of people. So to illustrate, I have down here a stack of books that just can show you the range of topics that you find within sports. First, here's a study by, I believe, a sociologist called The Joy of Sports, a book that kind of explores the cultural place that different sports have in American culture and kind of the benefits that we derive from sports. Here's a book by a team of writers, The Undisputed Guide to Pro Basketball. It's a sort of cultural history of the NBA that places the sport of basketball in American history and culture and describes the significance of the sport to the country that it came from. Very great book. Next, we have famous philosopher Roland Barthes, a French philosopher. It's a little thin, skinny book called What is Sport? And as a philosopher, he attempts to provide a sort of philosophical definition of sports. One of my favorite sports, soccer. This is probably the most famous history on soccer, called The Ball is Round by David Goldblatt. This, as you can see, is a very thick book. It basically is a historical account by a trained sociologist about the history and place of soccer in the world. And along the way, sort of all the political events, cultural events, and various meanings that the sport has. Sticking with soccer, here's another book called Soccer Against the Enemy by Simon Cooper. It's a book that explores the place that soccer's had in various political and international events around the world. It's a very political book. And again, back in soccer, we have a book about sort of sports and economics called Soccernomics that explores the relationship between money and soccer and sort of the place that soccer has within the world of money. Next, you have another sociologist, this time writing about people who watch sports, one of my favorite sports books of all time, Bill Buford's Among the Thugs. Not that thick of a book, but a sociologist sort of goes to the field and studies, goes to England and studies spectator culture among soccer fans in England. Next, a book I'm currently reading, Beyond a Boundary, about cricket, which explores cricket in the West Indies and the cultural, racial, social place that cricket had in forming identity in that part of the world. Sports and Science. This is a book that came out a couple years ago called The Sports Gene, which summarizes science and research on sports. And finally, The Real All-Americans, a book that explores American history and football and how it's connected to Native American culture. So I hope this gives you guys some idea about why sports matters as a theme for our class and why it's important. We'll be spending a good bit of our semester reading and writing about sports. I've discovered even my students who tend to not like sports love the class because of the types of readings we have. We will be exploring parts of the sports world you never knew existed. So if you love sports, hopefully that makes you excited. And if you don't love sports, maybe makes you a little bit more curious and willing to learn more. All right, we'll see you guys later.